The void, but somehow different this time.
Surprised I can pull you into this place? The outsider marked me long ago. I made you flee your precious tower and turned your father into cold stone. How difficult for you. But when I was young, sweet Jessamine and I were close as sisters, sharing a secret. Emperor Kaldwin had another daughter, born in shame to a kitchen maid.
Am I dreaming? If not, how is Delilah doing this?
But I want to come home like Jessamine.
I told you when you're older. Perhaps next year.
You said that last year. Jessamine is younger than me, and she's a court every day.
Disney is, well, it's complicated. You'll understand someday.
What did I do? I'll be good. I swear.
Next year, I promise.
During the day, Jessamine and I played games in the tower. But at night, I'd go back to the servants' quarters to cockroaches and thin gruel. Emperor Daddy would visit and tell me if I was good. Next year, I'd be old enough to come to court to be a princess. Then one day, pretty Jessamine broke something worth a fortune, and the spy master caught us. She claimed I did it, and he whipped me in the garden house until I bled. My mother lost her kitchen job, and that night we were out on the streets with no place to sleep.
I didn't break it.
Would you like to tell me who did?
We were just playing.
Young lady Jessamine. What is your account?
It was her. Delilah's wife. She broke it.
Mother and I saw the nastiest parts of Dunwall, ending up in debtor's prison. Jessamine died quick on an assassin's blade, but my mother lingered for weeks after a fat guard broke her jaw. They threw me out when she died. I looked up at the lights of Dunwall Tower and swore revenge. Washing bedsheets in a brothel, I painted on the side, until Anton Sokolov took me as a student. That's the polite word for it. I was crafty even before the outsider marked me, and survived the worst the Empire could offer. Now it's your turn.
My mother's sick. She needs help.
Your mother kicked off while you were out begging. She's another bag of bones now, girl.
What? No!
Your sentence is served and you'll be tossed out with the others. You can't stay here anymore.
It's hard to know whether my dear old aunt is telling the truth or not. When I saw what they'd done to Anton Sokolov, I wanted to hurt everyone who'd helped Delilah and the Duke of Serkonos pull off their coup. Sokolov is the man who made whale oil into a weapon, who turned back the plague, and now he's barely able to speak. The hands that painted the most powerful men and women of our time shaped too badly to hold a spoon. When he does talk, he's going to give me a name. The next step along the way to Duke Luca Abel, then Delilah herself. A name. That's all I need.
I'm with you, even in the void. If only I could do more.
Mother? That wasn't a dream, was it?
Am I to blame for Delilah's bitterness?
All this is her doing, and she'll die for it.
Our decisions have weight. I feel my time drawing to an end soon.
Anton, you've had 3 days to rest. Tell me how to kill Delilah.
They tortured him. His body is covered with bruises.
Delilah has the throne, and my father is missing. This is Anton Sokolov, the greatest mind in the Empire.
No, Emily. Megan is right. I can make electricity move from one side of the room to the other, but Delilah is beyond my understanding. When I came to Sarkonos, I meant to leave everything behind. But when the assassination started, I couldn't ignore it. By the time Megan and I connected the murders to the Duke, it was too late. The Crown Killer came for me. It kept me alive from my knowledge, but I saw things. Jindosh often had a visitor, Brianna Ashworth.
She's the curator of the Royal Conservatory.
Yes, Ashworth is dangerous. As obsessed with the occult as Delilah. Apparently, she's working on a device called the Oraculum.
There's more to her than either of you know.
If Ashworth is one of Delilah's lieutenants, I need to eliminate her. Who knows what this device is capable of, or what she's up to. One of the more elaborate structures in Karnaca, closed to the public. More of the Duke's questionable rulership.
We'll take the skiff. I don't want to bring the dreadful whale any closer than we have to. There is a small dock in Syria Gardens, close to the conservatory. That's as far as I can take you. Ready to go?
Yes, let's go.
There'll be a Grand Guard presence outside the Royal Conservatory. Inside, be prepared for anything. Ashworth runs with an eclectic crowd. They'll be the real danger.
Someday I'd like to know more about how you met Ashworth.
I know you would. Trust me. Ashworth is important to Delilah. Which brings up something else. You might be able to exploit the Abbey of the Everyman in removing Ashworth from play. Turns out the Vice Overseer in Karnaca has been watching Ashworth from a hidden outpost near the Royal Conservatory. Check it out first if you want more options. Remember, if she's still working with Delilah, Ashworth is a grave threat.
Thanks, Megan. See you soon.
Why do so many have so little? It was never meant to be this way.
Janice outlawed Underwood export to protect the trees.
I can't keep track of all the decrees. My client's refurbishing her gazebo, adding an exotic southern touch.
I don't get it. When I went to Dunwall, I brought back a river cross shelter.
Settle down.
Because it reminds me of good times. So what's the point of buying wood from a country I never visited?
Lady Shersha has money, so she gets the wood she wants.
Hey, you! Come here! Oh! Later! Ah! I've got... Oh!
Curator of the Royal Conservatory. For a while, I believed Ashworth had some connection to the occult in Karnaca. Something is happening that I don't understand. The Overseers are the forward face of the Abbey, but equally important are our sisters from the Oracular Order. To be direct, I suspect something is wrong within their sect. Subtle changes to the types of proclamations they've been making. Small, but troubling deviations from tradition. But publicly saying anything along those lines will get me accused of heresy by my rivals within the Abbey. Is it possible that Ashworth has infiltrated the Oracular Order?
So Vice Overseer Byrne thinks Ashworth is interfering with the Oracular Order. If true, it's another reason she has to be eliminated.
What?
What's happened? Could be anything. Just gotta watch my own back.
Karnaka, my Karnaka, brothers and sisters of my blood, and all the little people who make this great city trudge along. This is the Duke. You must all know my voice by now. A new Empress sits on the throne in Dunwall. Our rightful ruler, Delilah Kaldwin, first of her name. May she reign forever. There are some traitors who question her claim to the throne. Morally, tibia, treasonous nations skulking the cold gloomy gore. If they want war, we'll give it to them, no matter how many of you I have to sacrifice. Serkonos will fight for Delilah to the bitter end. I'm hungry. noticed that the new taxes levied by the Grand Serconi Guard. Let me answer all of this rabble-rousing at once.
Ashworth is somewhere inside the Royal Conservatory.
Look at the man, my friend. He's a patriot. A man who won't stop until he has turned every bit of this land silver into shiny coins. I asked him to double the number of mine workers, and he did it. No questions, no complaints. I got any miners, and he produced them. Thin air. That's just Serconi beer. That's what we need.
Grenade?
That noise! What's going on here?
Did you hear that?
Something feels wrong.
I see Karnaka falling into darkness, hate, and corruption. If only it were not so.
What the?
What? Somebody's down!
Is that the fountain? Yeah, the water gets nasty sometimes. Closing the fountain. You're not supposed to be here! What? Ah! You aren't going anywhere! Okay, it's not natural. Come back here! You won't get away!
No use running.
No!
Wicked ladies and hunters of slithering things in the hours before dawn. Former milkmaids and magistrates, come before me and bow, for I am Delilah, your queen.
All hail Delilah, the moon in the sky and the mist.
What was that? What? Let's hear how you sound with teeth! Enjoy your very laugh! Oh! Die! You're going first! Come back here! How do you want to die? There was some. Ooh. Knife with my line! Come back here! Knife with teeth!
Mistress hears you've been looking at her old journals in the Forbidden Archives, she's going to be cross.
I only had a bit of a peek. Brianna was busy with something elaborate just before Delilah came to Karnaca. I wanted to know what it was.
I'm teasing, Tamina. I read it too. Do you think Delilah really could have done that? I've heard the same stories about Paolo the Howler.
What you've heard about Paolo is not the same. He's a street orphan, full of tricks. But I have... Well, could do such a thing.
Coming back?
Jindosh was tiresome. How does this even work? This looks important. I wonder what it does.
Jindosh die? Someone got inside that strange house of his.
I don't know, Delilah. Forgive me.
No, my dear. It's a loss. I doubt he had anything more to give us.
Sokolov was taken away as well.
Who? No.
Mother, would I even be in this situation if you'd lived?
As if you could ever hide your face from me, Emily. Little Black Sparrow, free from your cage at last.
Brianna Ashworth is dead.
Spoiled child! You had no right! Born into a silk-padded cradle, you'll never understand what she meant to me.
And everything you've stolen? All the lives you've ruined?
It should have been mine to begin with. Everything that's happened is wrong. But don't you worry, I'm going to make it all better.
Give me back my throne and my father.
Come and take them, girl. I welcome you to my tower.
Ashworth's journal might tell me more about why Delilah can't be killed. These odd lenses might be linked to what Ashworth is working on.
I meant nothing to my fine family, beyond an advantageous marriage and years of childbearing. They promised me to a man 3 times my age who wheezed on about our wedding night. But a curious thing happened on the way to the altar, Delilah. From the first time I slipped out of the manor in the dead of night, there was no returning to my cage. Looking at the stars and drinking wine on a rooftop, I was free. Instead of seeing the overseers for marriage, I visited my father's banker and raced away from my old life toward Delilah. Those were the Coven's glory days. After Delilah fell to the assassin Dowd, her magic was lost, and the coven scattered. I made a new life in Karnaca. Then I heard her whispering from the void, leading me to the Duke, who heard those same whispers. Together we worked to bring Delilah back into the world, changing the Empire from the home of Aramis Stilton 3 years ago. Across the Isles, all of us who'd been with her at Brigmore and before, we felt the magic return. Others joined. New faces, new blood. Now, Delilah is immortal. Forever. She holds Dunwall, and we've turned to corrupting the oracular order. The Overseers take guidance from their prophetic sisters, and soon we'll influence their dreams and visions.
I'm hungry.
Hey, where do you think you're going?
You come back here!
What the?
So it's done.
Ashworth won't be a problem anymore.
Good. But Emily, there's something else. Back when I lived in Dunwall, I did things that I'm not proud of.
Isn't that a requirement for citizenship?
What I've got to say is not a joke. I knew Delilah and Ashworth. Bought into their bullshit. Which led me down a bad road. To be honest, before all this, I thought Delilah dead. I don't want to get into it right now. But I felt like you should know. There are things I regret.
You never know who to trust, do you?
Everybody makes mistakes, Empress. You'll have to tell me all your secrets someday. Are you ready to leave now?
Yes, let's go. Take me back to the Dreadful Whale.
Another step toward the Duke of Serkonos and Delilah.